York earned more than $120,000 a year, as well as an Emmy nomination during the 6 years he appeared on Bewitched. All of that was 20 years ago. Today, Dick York lives an extremely modest life along with his wife Joan here outside Rockford, Michigan. York hasn't been able to work in years, the result of a painful back injury he received earlier on in life. As a result, he and his wife now survive on a mere $650 a month income, his pension from the Screen Actors Guild.
Thank you, sweetheart.
But life has been worse for the Yorks. Since Dick left Bewitched in 1970, they have cleaned apartments, even collected aluminum cans to survive. All because of that back injury Dick sustained a few years before Bewitched. It was during the filming of the movie they came to Cordura. Dick, along with Gary Cooper and a handful of other men, were operating a railroad handcar.
And the director yelled, cut, and I was on the bottom stroke just pulling up, and somebody reached up and took a hold of the handle, so instead of just pulling 30 or 40 pounds, suddenly I was lifting a human body, and all the muscles were torn loose from my spine.
The injury kept Dick York in pain throughout the Bewitched years. But with special furniture designed for his bad back and assistants to help carry him on and off the set, York was able to pull off a convincing role, though he chooses not to think of himself as a star. You must realize the popularity that you gained through the series.
Yeah. Well, it was a lovely show. It was a loving show. Elizabeth and I loved one another. Paul Lynde, dear Aunt Clara, Larry Tate, Louise, all of those people were very real. We took care of each other. I had a bad back on the show, and the crew carried me around like a little prince on a cushion. You know, here's your chair, Dick.
But in 1970, Dick's health completely fell apart, and he had to leave the set in the middle of a scene. Lying on the floor of the studio as he waited for an ambulance, he knew he would never return.
And to see this crowd of people caring so much about me, I knew I couldn't inflict that pain on them anymore.
Dick, was it tough for you to leave the set of Bewitched that last day when you knew your health wasn't going to carry on any longer?
That was the worst day of my life because I thought I'd failed everybody. It was the only thing that I ever started that I didn't finish. I didn't finish that show. So I felt guilty, and I felt embarrassed, and I felt that I had let everybody down.
Did you ever get to see Elizabeth Montgomery after that day that you left the set?
No, not in person. I called her just a couple of weeks ago, and she was busy or out of town or something like that. But when the time comes for us to talk to each other, we will talk to each other, and nothing will have changed.
Darren and Sam still get along, huh?
Yeah, and so do Dick and Liz, of course.
Dick's health prevents him from most activities. His doctors say at best he may only live another few years. At worst, maybe only a few months. His crippled spine and respiratory problems have allowed him to leave this small home only twice in the last 3 years. Do you worry about the fact that you may be dying?
No. I'm alive now. I'm happy. Be happy. Be happy. I just want to be remembered laughing, that I had fun, that the world was kind to me, that I never met anybody I hated or who hated me.
York has made a contribution. He spends much of his time now working for the homeless, and we wish him well.